Hi, how you doing? Today I wanted to do a little tier list on Creepcast videos. Why am I doing that? I don't know. I've just been watching a lot of it and, have been since it came out, and I think it is about to hit a year, so thought it would be something fun to do. Um, I want to cover a couple of things before I get into this. Number one, the I every Creepcast episode, just for the fun of it, I made either a random PNG of it or found something online. I know I could just use the thumbnails, but I wanted to make this fun. And also, if you skip to the end and just look at the little pictures, you won't know what the hell's going on unless you really know the episodes. Um, and if you are watching this because you want to know which one to start out with, then just watch the video. um, I also want to say that any two-part episodes, so like Borrasca or Left-Right Game, I'm gonna make into one rating. I'm gonna tally both of them up into one. Also, I don't necessarily have a set plan as to where I'm going to put everything, but I'm going to try to put them all throughout the tiers because I don't want to just keep them all in they're all A's and B's and S's. I want to try to give a little variety there, and I'm also going to only pick the ones that I really, really, really like as S. And this is also a rating on how much I liked the episode, as well as if I'm going to recommend them to somebody, I would recommend these episodes. So keep that in mind. It's not like the story and that's it, or how funny it is and that's it. There has to be a little bit of an all-around, this is just a fun episode. Now, if it's really, really funny or the story is really, really good, maybe that could be an exception. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's all I really want to go through. Also, they're not necessarily in order. I put them in an order, but then I mix them up just, I don't know, to spice things up a bit. So yeah, I guess we'll start with Feed the Pig. Oh, the newest one. Now, I think this one might be the only kind of exception where there might be a little bit of recency bias because, it literally just came out. So I don't have a super clear picture as to where I want to put it. Eh, I'm thinking this was really good. It actually surprised me how good this was, especially because of some of the ones I saw before it. And I think this is the same guy that made Tommy Taffy, which didn't get my hopes up. But I think this one is really good. Now, I'm really thinking putting it I'm leaning toward S, but I think because of recency, I don't want to put it in S. I feel like if I give it a week or two, it might not be there. So I'm gonna do a borderline borderline rating here. So this is going to be the only one, I promise. I'm gonna put this between A and S for now, because right now I'd put it in S, but I feel like there's a little recency bias going on, so I'm gonna put it in A. Overall, I think the story is really good. I think it's and then there were some pretty funny moments throughout it, but I don't think it was the funniest episode or anything. I think the main reason I would border right here is probably because of the story being so good, and also it's a comeback story from doing Tommy Taffy. Also, this image is horrible. I found this thing online and it is just disturbing. I don't even, it doesn't really have a ton to do with the actual story. I just find it horrible. What's next? Ooh, okay. This would be 1999, I believe. You know, this one I feel like is kind of hard. It really didn't feel incredible to me. It was okay. I think there were some funny moments. I don't know, the story is kind of it's not, for what the story is, I feel like I'm not a huge fan. I think the highlight was pretty much Wendigoon with the bear. So, I'm thinking a C. It's kind of just, it's alright. It's never going to win an award as far as episodes go, but it gets by. Um, I think. Oh, okay. Next, so I picked this for Tommy Taffy. I really don't like Tommy Taffy. It's just like I don't think there were that many funny moments, number one, in the episode, and I think I really don't like the story. It just felt like brutal and not something I'd ever say, like, hey, buddy, do you want to go watch, like, this episode? It's a really good podcast. I don't know. This one was kind of, to me. So I think, like, based on the fact that I would never in a million years recommend this to somebody, and I didn't really enjoy it, I'm leaning here. I think, like, the content was just not something that I really ever want to listen to, ever. So I'm kind of leaning there right now. What's next? Oh, so this would be the creepy grab bag episode. Now, you know, there weren't really that many funny moments, and the stories were all kind of bad. So, man, I kind of have to lean. I think I'm leaning toward D. I really like this image, by the way. I made this at like 3 in the morning, so give me a little bit of a break. It's horrible though. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put this like in D. It's better than Tommy Taffy. Like none of the stories like made me feel gross or anything, but it also wasn't really enjoyable for me. It was just alright, you know, nothing crazy. Oh, this is the thing in the basement is getting better at mimicking people. You know, this one, it was okay. I wouldn't say it was like one of my favorites or anything, but it was pretty solid for the most part. Like I enjoyed it. I think if I had to rate it, I'm going like again, kind of like middle of the pack here. I'm gonna go with like B. It's decent, but I mean I think the story was really the main part that was good about the entire episode was the end when they were having the moment. I'm going to try to avoid like spoilers and things like that just in case you are, you know, watching this just to see what episodes are good. Like the end was really, really, really funny, but everything up until the end was just kind of, it was okay. It was like a decent episode, I guess, up until the end, but like I feel like if you rate it only by the ending, yeah, it would probably be like S or something, because it was it was really funny. But I also don't really think that's fair. I don't like if you rate episodes only based on the last part. I feel like that's kind of, I don't know. I feel like that's a little lame. What's next? Okay. So Jeff the Killer. Oh man, where would I? Okay. At the start of this, I said to get into S, you either have to be the like best in story or comedy, or like all around incredible package. This one is the best in comedy. I think this was easily the funniest episode, so I'm going to give that an S. Its story was not good, and in any other case, if it wasn't as funny as it was, I feel like I wouldn't put it in S. But the fact that it was just that funny, I feel like you have to put it in S. I don't know. I feel like it was easily the most entertaining episode for me in terms of just comedy. The story's horrible. It's really bad, but it's almost like a so bad it's good kind of story, rather than just being like terrible all around. So I think that gives it a little bit of an advantage over, you know, something like, I don't know, like the thing in the basement, where it's like really, really funny at the end, but up until that point, it's just kind of eh. Whereas I feel like Jeff the Killer, like throughout the entire thing, it's really funny throughout pretty much the entire thing. Next. Ooh, okay, Russian sleep experiment. If you know this, if you know what image I'm mimicking here, I commend you, I guess. You probably shouldn't, but whatever. It's old, but it just this image in the background fits so much. Um, so Russian sleep experiment. Um, it's just I feel like the story was fine, but it wasn't like a standout story for me in particular. It kind of I think this lends itself kind of toward like the D's, like that range. Like it's not bad, but like if I'm comparing it to what I'm thinking goes above it, it's kind of like yeah, it's not bad, but it's just I don't think the story was like incredible, and I don't think there were enough like funny moments or like interesting discussions to really put it above any of these other ones for me, other than Tommy Taffy at the moment. What's next? Ooh, okay, this is my bonus. So, Ted the Caver. I know it's not technically a Creepcast episode, um, and I'm not putting Creep TV on here. Just, I probably should have said that up front, but I'm not putting Creep TV. But I did want to put Ted the Caver because this is kind of like the test episode for Creepcast, and I cannot lie. I think this was like it was so good. It was one of those videos on YouTube where I actually watched it more than once because it was just so entertaining. Um, it was really funny. Like they had a lot of good funny moments. They had a lot of interesting discussions. The story was really good. Um, it was just overall like a super super good episode of just video, I guess, in general. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's all I could really say. I mean, the story was really good, everything. If you don't get that image, that's like my favorite part, and it makes me sad if you don't get that. I'm not going to explain it because I don't want to. Next. Oh, okay. This is the left-right game. If you know what moment I'm referencing with this, then good on you. So, left-right game. You know, I imagine most people would put this in S. I'm not most people. I'm gonna put it in A. I think the story was really, really good. I loved the first episode, and the second episode was really good, but the ending to me just wasn't something I thought was that good. I don't know. I just didn't really find it that interesting. And I mean, I think the discussions were pretty good, and there were a decent number of funny moments, but considering, like, I think those episodes combined are probably closing in on, like, somewhere between 8 and 10 hours. I don't even know. It's very long. So I feel like if we're comparing it to the other episodes, I don't know if it necessarily has that many funny moments per, like 10 minutes or whatever. So it's like I don't think it's like a super entertaining episode in comparison to the other ones all the way through. Like I think it's pretty good, like it's above average, but it's not. I don't know if I'd put it as S because it just wasn't like the whole package wasn't all funny, all interesting, or just overall a good product. It was just like a good episode. And I think if you just counted the first episode, maybe S, and then like probably like this first like 7 parts of the story were really good, but that last eighth of the like left right game I just wasn't really a big fan of. Penpal. Okay. I didn't really like the theme of this story that much. I don't particularly find those kinds of stories enjoyable, but it was really well written. I have to give it credit for that. I really do. And there were some pretty funny moments, like the whole snow cone machine when Meat Canyon is like, he'd be so upset getting like that off-season snow cone maker. I mean, that was pretty funny. So I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't think I could give it an S just because I personally don't really like the subject matter, but I'll put it in A just because it was overall like a pretty solid package. It was very entertaining for the most part. I mean, Yeah, I don't think I could put it up in S. I don't think that would be right. What's next? Oh, Borrasca, whatever. I can't say it. Another one most people would probably put in S. I'm gonna give it like the same treatment as Penpal, and I'm gonna put it in A. And it's kind of for the same reason. I think there were a lot of funny moments, yeah, but I don't necessarily think that it was an S for me. I think it was entertaining, like pretty much all the way through. I really enjoyed it, but I don't think I could put it in S because I really did not care for the subject matter, and the ending was, like, would I recommend that story to somebody? Probably not. It would be one of those things where, like, if you started, like, watching the series or listening to it and, really wanted to listen to more, then I'd get it, but, like, I wouldn't recommend it, to someone that just doesn't really care, I guess. Okay, my dead girlfriend is messaging me on Facebook. If you get the bus, you get the bus. Eh. You know, I think it was just... It wasn't bad by any means, but it was just kind of like mid. There wasn't really that much going on. I think the story was fairly interesting. I don't think I could put the Russian sleep experiment below this. I don't think that would be fair. I think these two are pretty close. Where it's just like, the story was fine, and there were like some funny moments, but it just wasn't like... I don't know. I feel like everything above it's a little better. To me, again, this is all subjective. If you want, you can, say in the comments what your ranking would be. Oh, okay, NoEnd House. Not a lot of funny moments from what I remember. So, I don't think it had, like, the full kit and caboodle or anything. So, I'm leaning toward a B. Like, it was a pretty interesting story. I liked the story. It wasn't bad. And I think there were some funny moments, and I think the discussion was probably the common, like, big part of this episode that I liked. But, like, it was alright. I think I'm leaning B or C for that one. I'd probably go with B in this case. Ooh, okay. I forgot all these images were made at like 3 in the morning. don't worry about this. This is the showers. It was alright. I think the story was just okay. I didn't really care for it. And a lot of this is like my enjoyment, and I tried not to like look at other people's comments and things like that on these episodes. So to me, it was just okay. I didn't really think it was like hilarious or anything, and I don't really think that the discussion was like the most riveting or whatever out of all the episodes. I mean, this is all just me, like, and what I found fun, I guess, throughout all these stories. So it was okay for me. What's next? Oh, Stairs in the Woods. This is a weird one because I think the story was actually really good, and I think it had a lot of potential to be like a super, super good episode. And I mean, it was interesting, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they didn't really know like how they were going to do the episodes yet. So I feel like it just didn't feel as like put together as what I would expect for like A or S. I think it was pretty entertaining. Like, the story was good, the discussion was good, and there were some funny moments, but I just feel like it wasn't all put together like these later ones, and I think that was just because it was one of their like, it's their first like actual Creepcast thing, other than like the whole Ted the Caver try, I guess. So, whatever. It was good. I don't know if I could put it in A or S. Like, I feel like all the ones above it are better, and I think even some of the ones in B are better. But I would still say it's above the ones lower than it, personally. Oh, okay. This is Psychosis. The last two have been pretty good. I really liked Psychosis. I'm gonna put an A. I don't think it's like Feed the Pig where it's like bordering S because I don't think the story was like as top tier. I feel like it was a bit more just like a fun idea, and I think they had some fun with it and they seemed to like it, and I did too. I thought it was pretty interesting, and I think they were pretty entertaining on this episode. I think overall it was a pretty fun one, but I don't think it was like all around, perfect. Like it was like the funniest, the best story, or just like all around like that complete package of like this is the most entertaining episode. So like it probably wouldn't be my first one that I'd recommend. Like these are the ones in S are basically the ones like if someone said, "Hey, I want to like, what podcast is good?" and I'd say Creepcast, and then these two would be the ones I'd recommend. These like the ones in A, B, C, like these it just goes down the list of like what would be next in my head as far as like best episodes. And I think Psychosis was pretty good. I thought it was like it was different than a lot of the other episodes, and a lot of the other stories, and I don't know. I thought it was a pretty fun one. Only two more, I think. Ooh, okay. um, so this is Gregory 88. If you know, you know, eggs. It just wasn't like I don't know. It just wasn't good. I'm leaning at. Do I put it in this? No. All right, fine. I'll put it in D. They had some funny moments, but I don't think the story itself was like Jeff the Killer, where the story was so bad it's good. It was just the story was really bad, and they were good at making fun of it. So I feel like I feel like I'm leaning there. And again, yeah, there were some funny moments when they were making fun of it, but I feel like there wasn't really like a lot to go off of, so it never really went anywhere like super interesting or different. It was all right. Not really one that I would say was like, oh man, this is so good. It's just all right. What's next? Oh, okay. So this is my wife's been peeking at me from around corners. That episode was pretty funny. I enjoyed it. But I feel like the story was kind of just, it was just meh, I guess. Not like, the most top tier story, if you ask me. And I don't think it was like a so bad it's good kind of story. It was just like, it's decent. I think I think C. It's pretty like middle of the pack. I don't really think it beats anything above it, and then like it feels pretty on point with what's in C, I guess, where it kind of just has like a few good moments to me. And the story is like decent, but it's not so bad it's good, or it's not like really good. It's just all right overall. Yeah, I think that is about it. That's my ranking. So again, just to clarify, these rankings are only based on just like what I enjoyed and what I would like recommend to a buddy. Like if I was going to tell my friend, "Hey, Creepcast is really good," I would probably recommend one of these an S, right? And then down the list is basically just like, "Oh, this episode was good, that one was good," and everything below it, I think it's basically like whatever's above is better than what's below in my head, and then the stuff in the same tier is kind of like competitive. So yeah, and if you don't get any of these images, well then watch the episode. And if you have watched the episode and you're just skipping to the end to see what I ranked everything at, you can take your time figuring out how to decipher all these. They're all either moments from the episode, nods to the episode, or, something in that ballpark. And, yeah, I don't know, comment what you have as your, ranking here. Again, just favorites, not like story only or entertainment only. It's kind of like the package, like how good is like the full episode, and how would you recommend that to other people. This is my ranking. If you have another ranking, let me know below. And I guess if me Canyon or Wendigoon watches this, wow, that would be really cool. yeah, this is how I'd rank them, and none of them are bad. Don't get me wrong, just because it's, you know, well, Tommy Taffy's bad. Everything other than Tommy Taffy is fine. I just really don't like that one. Yeah, I'll see ya.